My dad is a priest for the Church of Satan, and I told you guys to ask him questions, so now we're going to get started. In your own words, what is the Church of Satan?
The Church of Satan is more of a it's an organization for non-joiners. It is a collective of artistic people and outsiders, and it is people who've decided to be in charge of their own life instead of letting Sky Daddy be in charge.
So then, do you believe in any gods or goddesses?
No, we would call ourselves, essentially, Satanists are at the core atheists, but as Peter Gilmore said, since by proxy we believe that if you worship or believe in a God, you're believing in whoever created that. So rather than putting someone else on the pedestal of our hearts, we put ourselves there, making ourselves from atheist to atheist, as Peter Gilmore has encapsulated that name.
What do you do as a priest for the church?
Well, the priest title is really a name. It's a title that was given to me. All the titles are for active members, and it really has to do with if they feel like you are somebody who has a good working understanding of Satanism, and they kind of look at what you're doing with your own life. The title is kind of almost just a nod from the hierarchy, so it's not necessarily something I do for them. When I do for myself, that's doing what a Satanist would do.
Does the church have any kind of weekly services or anything like that?
No, it's very much an independent belief system. We're usually more interested in what we're doing ourselves. There's no rule that any of us have to get along with each other. Some of us, once in a while, do become friends and get together just to hang out as friends, and there's an occasional get together of some sort, like maybe an art gallery visit or something like that, but no, there's no getting together and nothing like that.
Do you know the high priest?
Yeah, I've been to his house. Peter Gilmore is somebody who I can shoot him a text message when I want. He's always really great at talking to me. Super cool, him and his wife Peggy. Like I said, I've been to their house a couple times, and they're wonderful people. He's actually got a whole section in his second floor house about some of my artwork. So, yeah.
There's going to be multiple parts. Part 2 of asking my dad you guys' questions about the Church of Satan. So why is it called the Church of Satan if you don't worship Satan?
Sort of like, don't take your hunting rifle to the moose lodge. It has to do with symbolism. And since our religion is very carnal, what can be a better symbol than the devil? Aside from that, Satan isn't just what Christians depict him as in the Bible. There's all sorts of literature, anyone from Milton to I can't think. Lots of literature where Lucifer or Satan has been depicted more as a symbol of justice a lot of times, and certainly, like I said, carnality. I mean, we're a carnal religion, so he's just the perfect symbol.
So what is the difference between the magic that is performed in Satanism versus like in the witchcraft that I do?
This is a deep question. This might be kind of tricky and it's difficult for a lot of people, but let me just try and put it this way. Some Christians can pray and get their prayers met. Some witches do their magic and get their needs met. I assume all sorts of religions can say, well, my God answered my prayer. And Satanists can do a ritual not actually believing in any deity and have their things met. And the only thing that they all have in common is willpower and maybe belief that it's going to happen. That being said, I do believe that a Christian's prayer can be answered. I just don't think that it's a God doing it. I think it's their own will.
So then do you keep any sort of like spell book or grimoire or anything like that?
No. not personally. I suppose there are others, certainly people who might decide to write their own rituals, but Satanism demands study, not worship, so I read. That's what I do.
What drew you to the Church of Satan in the first place?
What drew me to it was really I had a period of time in my life where I was by myself and had been raised that this book was so frightening and scary, so I decided to read it and found out that it was not at all what I thought it would be. And not only that, but as any good Satanist of worth has usually said, I saw myself reflected in the words of Anton LaVey, and so that just made it easy.
Keep an eye out for part 3. Part 3 of asking my dad your questions about the Church of Satan. What is your favorite thing about being in the Church of Satan?
Well, I am a member because, number one, because I associate myself with the religion that LaVey created, and like I said, saw myself reflected in his belief system. I also have a high regard for Peter Gilmore's writings and stuff, and so my basically what I'm doing is paying homage to the belief system, or the I guess I should say religion. Really, it's not really a belief system, but I'm paying homage by being a member, and I'm an active member because I'm okay with doing stuff like this.
How does the average person tend to react when you tell them that you're in the Church of Satan?
Nowadays, not so bad, because I think more people are a little bit more open, although there are some people that get it mixed up with another organization of douchebags that have stolen our name. But yeah, most of the time I think when I meet somebody one-on-one, I don't just come right out and go, hi, I'm a Satanist. So they usually get to know me, especially like tattoo customers and stuff like that. So by the time that's even brought up, they'll already think, well, this seems like a decent guy. So they don't think I'm going to try and murder their babies.
Which leads into the next question. What is the biggest misconception about the Church of Satan, do you think?
The biggest one probably was always, that we worship the devil, or that we believe in any such being, which we don't. Sacrifice. I think most people have figured out by now that none of that stuff's actually happening. But there are still people that go, so you worship the devil? No, we don't.
I had a question about sacrifices too, so you can confirm that that's not.
Yeah, sacrifice doesn't make any sense to us because we don't believe in any deities. What are we sacrificing for? We're not really. If we're going to sacrifice, it's going to be to ourselves. Like sacrifice. By exercising and working out and dieting to be our best, or taking time to read, or doing whatever we need to pursue ourselves. But usually find out that it's not so much sacrifice when you get into it. Yeah, we're not giving up shit.
Part 4 of asking my dad your questions about the Church of Satan. So the Church of Satan and the Satanic Temple are two separate entities, yes?
Very, very much. Church of Satan has been around since 1966. LaVey was the first person to ever codify a religion called Satanism. There was never an above-ground organization called Satanism before that. It was only an accusation, much like, witches were, people who weren't witches were accused of it. Same thing with Satanists. That was an accusatory term. TST was an activist group that started in the 2000s. After the Church of Satan had already, done all the hard work of making it acceptable to use the term, they were an activist group. They've only been established as a religion for a short while now, a few years, and that's because they wanted tax breaks, which LaVey actually was very much against. In fact, LaVey has challenged all churches to pay their taxes, but TST, who I guess filed as a Christian religion, actually they wanted a way out. So that's why I don't like them.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Well, that's tricky because I would say, like, while we don't necessarily believe in anything outside of the natural realm, we can believe that there are things we can't always explain. There are things that maybe science hasn't come up with a term for exactly. And I've had a couple of weird experiences in my life, but I can't put a name on that. I mean, it might be something, it might be not. I don't know. because it's unexplainable, I don't think it's, you know, a good idea to just say that's definitely this or that.
Would you
Kinda
say
like
the,
religion?
Yeah. Would you say the same thing about aliens then?
Aliens, so I mean, they have, well, let's put it this way. Statistically, by the amount of star systems and planets in expanding space, there has to be other life. Now, whether they're, you know, big-headed, green, you know, bulbous-eyed creatures, or if they're a single-celled organism, that's, you know, very different things. But I think that there has to be, actually, I know that the U.S. government came out this year and actually admitted to UFOs, which that doesn't necessarily mean alien, I guess, but yeah. So maybe.
Do you think that my witchcraft TikTok is cool?
It's pretty cool, yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Thanks for joining me.